Now, in the workplace, if you're lucky, you've always got a nice, happy apple cart, everyone gets along, everything's going fine, but just on the odd occasion, you'll get a little bit of conflict. As a previous manager myself, I can definitely say from experience that sorting out or trying to resolve conflict was a tricky thing to do between two colleagues. So what I'm generally asking is, how do you manage conflict in the workplace? How do you resolve it?
Well, you're right. I think conflict in the workplace is going to exist. I think it's inevitable. I don't think you can avoid it. And I don't think you should try and avoid it, because in human interaction there's always going to be conflict, and it depends how you manage it. I think that is the most important question to try and answer. So conflict, in my view, when it comes to managing conflict, those involved, either knowingly or unknowingly, are concerned about two aspects, two things that are important to them. The one is their concern to get their way, to get a result which they're wanting to achieve. So that's, if you like, on one axis. I think on another axis is the degree to which they're concerned about the quality of the relationship they have with the other person or group of people with whom they're in conflict. So either consciously or subconsciously, people in conflict, I think, in my view, are trying to work along those two axes, and it depends which of those two are more important to them. So, for example, let's take an individual who is very high in terms of getting their own way. They have to get a result of their choosing. And they really don't care about the other party. That doesn't figure in the equation at all. So you could describe these people as the classic win-lose mentality people. I win, the other party loses, but I don't mind because I've got my way. So my description for those people are the competers.
Right.
And I think we've all come across the competers. They are very easy to spot because they talk about what they want, what they must have. They have little consideration for others, their needs, their feelings. They ask very few questions because they don't really want to know the answers. And as long as they get their way, they feel that they've managed any potential conflict in the best way. Now, if we go to the opposite end of the spectrum, and let's say that we look at a person who is a very, very high in terms of being concerned about the quality of the relationship. They're sensitive about that. They don't want to be fitting in with that other person. They want to have good working relationships with them going forward. But they're not so concerned about the result that they are seeking for themselves. Almost the equal and opposite of the competitor. So I call these people the accommodators. Accommodators are, if you like, in terms of outcomes, lose-win. In a sense, they don't mind losing out on their results agenda as long as they've accommodated somebody else to get what they want and the relationship is protected and they can still work with them going forward, then that's their main concern. Well, if the competitors make enemies because people dealing with them feel, just wait, I'll get you back, I'll win next time, and they produce that kind of enmity. Accommodators, if they accommodate too much, create a rod for their own back in that people will know they're easy to walk over. I can always win in my situation when I'm dealing with this person because they will accommodate. They'll always put me first, they'll always agree, they're a soft touch. So we can say that competitors and accommodators are probably not the best resolution managers, if you like. So now let's go to another one, which is low on results and low on relationship. So I call these people the avoiders. Frankly, they don't care. Why don't they care? Because the result is of no consequence to them. Why don't they care? Because relationship with that person or that group of people has no consequence. So they opt out. They'll say, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be quite annoying because you can't easily win them over to one side or another, because they will always sit on the fence, stay out of the argument, and not engage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem with that is that it's difficult to create a long-term relationship and a long-term win in terms of results if people are saying, I don't want to engage. I want to opt out. I'm not in what you're trying to do. I'm not in the team. So now if I am happy to get half the result I'm looking for, and I'm kind of happy to get half the relationship I'm looking for, and I'm happy to settle for a compromise, then I'm a compromiser. So I will always say, well, look, let's split the difference. I don't really want to offend you. Why don't you take half of what you're looking for? I'm happy to settle for half what I'm looking for. You know, I know the relationship isn't going to be totally brilliant, but, you know, at least we can do business with one another going forward. Then that is, in a sense, in the middle, and it's a sort of a half win, half lose.
Would you say that that would be the preferred?
No, I wouldn't. I'm coming to the preferred.
Okay, right.
To me, the preferred conflict resolution style, if you can achieve it, is where both of you get all of the result you're looking for, and both of you get the high quality of relationship that you're both looking for. It's a win-win. We call that a collaborative style. You get all of what you're wanting, I get all of what I'm wanting. We have the even better relationship as a result. We've taken that to a different level of quality, and it's a great result for both of us. The thing about collaboration is you, more often than not, have to be flexible and adaptable to change your initial position. Mm-hmm. You have to be creative. You have to rethink what was your original objective and come to a new way of creating a win for yourself and for the other party. And that takes some doing.
As opposed to a compromise. Yeah.
As opposed to a compromise where we don't change the shape of things, or the compete or the accommodate. They don't change the shape of things. The avoider doesn't care. That's a lose-lose, because they're just not in it. But collaboratives will say, right, we're struggling here to get a win for each of us. Let's go back. Let's have a look at the problem again. Let's look at some solutions. Let's think outside the box. Let's actually think differently about what we're trying to achieve here and come up with a very different solution that actually we didn't know existed until we started to talk to each other. And that's the difference. So there are 5 different conflict resolution styles: compete, accommodate, avoid, compromise, collaborate, of which collaborate is by far the most powerful in the longer term.
I'll tell you what, you were being really handy with me and my sister when we were little.